Aloha, I'm your host Kendrick Simmons, and today we're going to have a great discussion today. Welcome to another exciting episode of Evolution Hawaii. Before we get started, I have to read this disclaimer. Our discussion today does not constitute legal advice. If you need legal advice, you should contact an attorney who can give you advice based on your specific facts of your case. This discussion is not a substitute for independent research, assessment, or advice from a competent attorney. Can you guess what we're going to be talking about today? Straight from the law offices of David Barlow, we have attorney David Barlow here to help us to know our rights when we are injured in an accident. Thanks, David, for showing up.
Hi Kendrick.
I appreciate you. We already know who you are, David W. Barlow.
That's right.
Could you tell us a little bit more about your law firm and what you do?
My law firm is located in West Oahu, and we primarily specialize in personal injury cases.
And so today you're going to help us know our rights if we're injured in an accident.
That's right.
Basically a breakdown of what steps to take and how to prepare to speak to an attorney. All right, so what should I do if I've been injured in an accident?
Well, it might seem pretty obvious, but a lot of people don't always keep good records when they're in an accident. Unfortunately, when you make a personal injury claim, it can take a long time for that claim to, for you to receive compensation for that claim. So we always recommend that you keep very good records, write down as much as you can about the accident, keep good records about your injuries, and any losses you sustained in the accident. Also make notes of any conversations you have. That would include not only with the person who hit you in the accident, but with anyone who witnessed the accident, as well as perhaps any insurance agents that you talk with. Always write down who you spoke with, the date and time you spoke with them.
So proper documentation is very important, because later on they have to explain it to you, and later on you might have to go through those notes. Right?
That's right. A lot of us, we think we have really good memories, especially with something as traumatic as a car accident. However, it's also a very confusing time. So sometimes, it's always a lot better just to write it down. That way you'll always be able to refer to that way down the road.
Okay, cool. As a preserve evidence.
It's really important to preserve any evidence as much as you can. Obviously, you can't keep your smashed car in a folder at home, but any other damaged property, be sure to preserve that. One of the most important things you can do is take pictures of the damage, especially of your injuries, before those injuries heal. Like they say, a picture's worth 1,000 words, and definitely, if you ever had to go to trial, it would be great to have pictures of those injuries.
So kind of keep a camera inside your car. We're not just talking about car accidents, but if you are in a car, keep a camera inside your car, just maybe a little click camera handy in your purse or something like that. Or
yeah, well, most people have camera phones nowadays, and be sure to use it. But definitely, when you get home, take pictures of your injuries. That would help.
All right, awesome.
Another thing is to be sure to keep track of the contact information of the different witnesses. And everyone involved in the accident. Like I said, sometimes it can be way down the road, a year or 2 years after the fact, and you'll want to be able to contact everyone involved, so be sure to keep that information.
So first thing we need to do is keep proper documentation, keep notes, preserve evidence, and keep contacts of witnesses. So if I'm doing all this for myself, tell me, why would I need a lawyer if I have all that information?
Why would you need a lawyer? In a perfect world where everyone always did the right thing, there probably wouldn't be nearly as many lawyers as there are.
That's true.
Maybe I'd have to be in a different profession if everyone always did the right thing. Unfortunately, we're not in the perfect world, and people don't always like to, make amends for the mistakes that they make. So you need an attorney who's going to protect your rights and make sure that you get the compensation that you deserve. A lot of people think, oh, I have insurance, let them deal with it. And unfortunately, the insurance companies, they are a business. The whole point of being a business is to make money.
Like money, yeah.
And it's good. We want insurance companies to make a profit. However, you do need someone on your side to
help squeeze that extra penny out of them now.
well, you want to make sure that you get what you deserve.
Yeah, because like you said, it's not a perfect world, right?
That's right.
People aren't just handing you money. Hey, you know what? Let me pay for your doctor bills. Let me pay for your car bumper that I bumped into.
Right. And a lot of people, they want to do the right things, and they expect their insurance company to do the right thing, and that's why you need a personal injury attorney just to, as a kind of a checks and balance to make sure that the insurance company is, doing the right thing for the person who paid their premiums for all those years.
Right. And so let's see, an attorney experienced in personal injury cases knows how to negotiate with insurance companies.
That's right. Another important reason to get an attorney is we are trained, with all the experience that we have, we know how to work with the insurance companies, to present, the evidence of the case, present all of your damages, to prove your case and prove why, to really show the damages that you suffered, and to make sure that you get compensated for those damages.
David, I have a testimony on what you were just talking about for the simple fact, we have a property in Vegas, and what happened was our tenants moved out and kind of like vandalized the property. So of course we're dealing with the insurance company. But it seems like the hardest thing in the world to get the right amount of money from them to actually fix the things that are broken. So it's like I have to do my wheeling and dealing to negotiate with them because the first price wasn't good enough. I have to go in again, and then if I had an attorney to deal with that too, maybe they would have got the best price for me in the first time. So I know how insurance companies, they don't want to give you all the money they can at first. You have to have a professional will help get what you deserve, what you need. Yeah.
That's right. And like I said, the insurance companies, we need them. They have a good place in society. We got to have them, and we want them to be profitable. Unfortunately, they kind of owe it to their shareholders to make as much profit as they can. And so in a way, I'm sure they expect to have attorneys on the other side, making sure they live up to what they're supposed to pay under the insurance policies.
Right. All right, so let me get some, people, when you think of attorneys, there's lots of myths. So can I get some common myths about personal injury claims?
Some myths about personal injury claims. One of the first myths I can think about is that the insurance companies will make you think that you have to give a recorded statement before you can settle your case. And insurance companies, they love to get these recorded statements. Unfortunately, let me say, they have the right to know what happened, and you want to cooperate with them and give your side of the story. But when you give these recorded statements, they're going to use every word in that statement for their advantage.
Right.
In other words, they're going to use it against you to try to either make it look like it wasn't your fault or that you really weren't hurt. And so I generally, I can't speak for everybody, but in my opinion, it's not always a good idea to give that recorded statement to the insurance company. They're going to have their opportunity. You get your attorney, you can write out as long of a statement as you want, give them every detail as you want. You write it out with the help of your attorney, or if it does proceed to litigation, you give the insurance company the opportunity to do a deposition with your attorney present. So that would just be one thing. You don't think you absolutely have to give that recorded statement.
Let's go. David, I want to go on this outline before I, continue with this outline. I just want to get a feel of who you are and why did you decide to become an attorney and, why did you decide to become an attorney?
I think same reason a lot of people chose their professions. You saw it as something you were good at. You saw it as a way to do something meaningful in society, obviously provide for your family. Of course, I liked the John Grisham books when I was 16.
Yeah.
I read The Firm,
Yeah.
and I was like, I want to be a lawyer.
That's cool.
But yeah, it's just, and ever since my first day of law school, I wanted to do personal injury law.
Personal injury.
I love the idea of you don't have to bill hours, keep track of every minute you're working on a client's case. And for me, I don't bill hours at all. I do everything on contingency fee basis.
Contingency fee.
Contingency fee.
That's a percentage of what is rewarded when the case is over.
Well,
right?
what it actually means, it means that I am paid contingent upon me getting compensation for you.
Wow.
And for me, I got my BA in economics, so I'm a very efficient-minded person. I mean, how efficient is that to hire someone, and you know that person that you hire is not going to get paid unless they do a good job for you?
Right.
I mean, wouldn't it be great if you could do that with mechanics or doctors or Walmart, wherever you are? You don't have to pay until you're satisfied or you have a successful result.
That's how most lawyers are, yeah?
Contingency?
Contingency lawyers, that's what it means.
Most personal injury lawyers do work on contingency fee.
Cool. So, like, if you don't mind, how long did you go to school?
Oh, well, law school is about 3 years. Before that, you need to get a degree, and that's you need to get a 4-year degree.
I just wanted people to get a personal feel for you.
Oh, okay.
Who you are and how you got started. So we were talking about common myths.
Yes.
For personal injury cases. So you have to go to court to get to be compensated for your injuries, right? Is that a myth?
Yeah, that's kind of a myth a lot of people have in their minds when they're thinking about a personal injury claim. They think, oh, I don't want to deal with court. I don't want to go in front of a jury and a judge, and so I'm just not going to make a personal injury claim. I'll just have to deal with, all my losses.
There's a lot of forms you got to fill out too, right? And fees for filling out forms, court fees and documents.
Oh,
and all that stuff.
yeah. If you go to court, there's filing fees. It's a lot of paperwork. But the fact is that most cases are settled before a litigation or even before a complaint is filed. We are good at settling these cases with the insurance company, especially my firm. We really do. We really work hard to get it resolved as quickly as possible, because we understand that if you're in an accident, it's not something you want it to happen to you.
Right.
It's a horrible experience. You want to get compensated and move on with your life. Right? You don't want to deal with it for years and rehash that bad experience.
And most of the time, sometimes when you say compensation, it's just simple as, hey, just paying the medical bills that I have to pay, or pay for the damages that have occurred. It's not necessarily suing somebody for lots of money, but most of the time you just want to get, what's owed to help out with the accident, right?
That's what it's all about. Is just to make you whole again in a way. I mean, there's really no way to undo a broken bone or undo scars or something, but the whole goal is to make you as whole as possible, to get you compensation for, obviously, for any expenses you had, for your medical bills, and for your property damage, but also you have to think of like lost wages if you missed work and you didn't get sick leave, if you missed work for a month. I mean, a lot of people live in paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
They need to be recompensated for that to make up for living on the credit cards for a month to pay their rent. So those are the main things to be compensated for.
All right, cool. So personal injury claims are a way to strike it rich.
Yeah, that's a very common myth out there. And that myth is kind of perpetuated. I see it in newspapers all the time. You see a big headline, they just want to show, this huge award that a jury gave. So it's kind of, that myth is really perpetuated by a lot of the media because it's, it makes good news, right?
Right.
Someone gets a huge jury award and everyone reads the paper and thinks, what's wrong with our judicial system? What's wrong with these jurors? They're crazy.
Right.
But really, a lot of these big cases where you see these huge awards, if you really read the details of the news article and knew the background of the case, you would understand why